A city bus ticket costs $3, the ride actually costs $12. Most people assume public transit operates like a business. You pay a fare, the system covers its costs, everyone moves on. That's the accepted story. It's also almost entirely false. The gap between what passengers pay and what transit actually costs reveals a fundamental economic architecture that's been quietly subsidizing cities for decades, and it's starting to crack. On the surface, the math seems straightforward. A transit agency collects fares, pays drivers, maintains vehicles, and operates routes. But this ignores the actual cost structure. Infrastructure, the tunnels, rails, stations, and roads, represents enormous upfront capital. A single subway line can cost billions. That's not recovered in a year. It's financed across decades through bonds and public funding. Fare revenue typically covers only 30 to 50% of operating costs in major systems. The rest comes from subsidies, tax revenue, municipal bonds, state and federal grants. These aren't hidden. Cities publish them, but they are invisible to the rider. You don't see the property tax that funds the transit authority. You don't see the federal grant that replaced aging buses. The system works because governments accepted a premise: moving people efficiently is a public good, not a profit center. Here's where the feedback loop collapses. As cities sprawl, operating costs climb. Longer routes, more vehicles, aging infrastructure. Simultaneously, ridership patterns shift. Demand concentrates on peak hours, off-peak routes run half-empty. Subsidy requests grow larger. Political pressure mounts to raise fares or cut service. Higher fares push away lower-income riders. Service cuts make transit less useful. Fewer riders means higher per-passenger costs. The cycle accelerates. Economists saw this coming. In the 1960s and 70s, transit theorists warned that rising labor costs and declining density would squeeze the model. They were right. What changed is what we're willing to subsidize. Some cities doubled down, investing in rail, accepting permanent subsidies as the cost of urban function. Others let systems atrophy. The difference between a thriving transit network and a dying one isn't ridership alone. It's political commitment to funding a loss-making public service. The real implication: your $3 fare was never meant to cover the ride. It was always a political choice about how much of that cost gets shifted to you versus the public. Raising fares doesn't make transit financially independent. It just redistributes who bears the burden. Lower-income riders exit. Subsidy requests don't shrink. The system becomes less equitable and less efficient simultaneously. Understanding this shifts how you evaluate transit policy. It's not about whether the system can pay for itself. It can't, by design. It's about whether a city values moving people affordably and efficiently enough to fund that choice. Every major city that works has made that bet explicitly. Every system in decline quietly stopped making it. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe to explore the hidden economics behind systems that shape how cities function and what happens when the math no longer works. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.